Hi, Cinemark fans. I'm Drew Taylor, and today we're on the hunt for paranormal activity with Ghostbusters Afterlife, and we're so thrilled to be joined by Finn Wolfhard and McKenna Grace. Guys, how are you?
We're good.
So good.
I just was curious, what was your level of Ghostbusters fandom going into this movie?
That's always been one of my favorite films, like growing up. I have a little photo of me whenever I was super little and I had the Ghostbusters VHS. It was the first time I ever watched it. And whenever I was little, I used to carry around this little like plastic Slimer toy, not a stuffed animal or anything, but it was like hard plastic. I don't know. But obsessed. Yeah, I was a Ghostbuster for Halloween in like 2017. Big
Wow.
fan. So
I didn't see it in the theaters, but it was on TV because this was a time when people just had their TVs on and movies were on. And I saw it on TV all the time, the first one and the second one. So I feel like I saw it once a week for my entire childhood.
It's a seminal movie, certainly for people my age, that it was one of those comedies. And it also seemed to check boxes that not a lot of movies checked, which was, it actually was kind of scary and it was funny. And it's a very cool thing to be a part of.
Did you ever consider using the unused gray suits from Ghostbusters 2? They're so cool. They were in all the promotional materials.
Right.
They weren't really in the movie.
It's funny, like I remember those suits and I remember thinking they were just as cool as you do. What we wanted to do with this film was relive exactly what it was like to watch that 1984 film, you know? The 1984 film was about the Ghostbusters, but Ghostbusters Afterlife, it's about the rest of us. It's about our experience reliving and digging into the past like archaeologists and understanding our relationship with that film and what it would be like for this family to inherit this house, which is to inherit this legacy, which is Ghostbuster.
Your father wasn't much of a homemaker. He could hardly keep the power on.
You're saying he left us nothing?
Well, I wouldn't say nothing.
You went with the station wagon?
It's the only one that had an engine.
Well, you guys play siblings in this movie, obviously. Did you guys do any sort of like exercises or anything to really sell that relationship?
It was great. I think Jason did a great job because like he just got us to hang out, I think. Like I think, and we would hang out and outside
We just
the
had
sets.
natural chemistry.
Yeah, we had
you
natural
know?
chem.
Yeah.
And no, I don't know. Yeah, no, I think we just get along really well, and I think I naturally feel like you're my sister, which is really nice, and I've always wanted a sister, so.
Well, I wanted to ask you about tone and how you and Gil kind of settled on the tone, because there is this amazing kind of archaeological expedition into all things Ghostbusters, but it's got an amazing heart to it too. So I wanted to know how you kind of found that balance. Was there a lot of trial and error? How did that sort of come about?
I mean it when I say that Ghostbusters Afterlife is a movie made by a family about a family. You know, I think that's where the heart comes from. I look at, this family that is nervous about picking up the proton pack, and I think about my own relationship with picking up the proton pack. I think about this family who is trying to understand its relationship with the franchise, and I think about my family's own relationship with it. So I think that's where the tone came from. I think that's where the heart came from. And obviously, Gil Kenan and I grew up on 1980s movies.
Right.
We grew up on Amblin films. We grew up on E.T. and Goonies and Gremlins and Star Wars. And there was a tone to those films where they were adventures, but also they were really about human beings. And we wanted to make one of those movies.
What aspect of this movie are you most excited for the fans to see?
I love primarily that so much of all of the special effects were very practical. And so I think it feels like an old school movie, like a kind of movie that doesn't get made anymore. I'm thrilled I got to do it because I feel like this sort of tangible filmmaking doesn't happen very often anymore. And so I just feel like you can feel that when you see the film.
Yeah, when I first saw it, that was exactly the thought that I had. I'm like, oh my God, this really reminds me of a movie that I kind of grew up with, that we don't see as much anymore. And it's really moving. And certainly for fans of Ghostbusters, I'm excited for them to experience it and I think it really honors what the original Ghostbusters, what it is, and that if you're a fan of that original movie, that this could land in some ways that will move you.
Well, can you say in your own words why folks should go see this movie on the biggest screen possible?
Absolutely. I mean, look, I love movies and I love movie theaters. And we wanted to make a movie that made you want to buy the popcorn, sit in the movie theater seat, sit with a huge group of people, watch the movie, and relive everything you loved about the original Ghostbusters, and at the same time, get a completely new story with a new family that was for everybody. Whether this is the 100th time you've seen a Ghostbusters movie, whether it's the first time you're seeing a Ghostbusters movie, this is a movie for you.
Well, thank you so much for chatting with me, and I want to remind everybody that they can experience Ghostbusters Afterlife at Cinemark theaters and get your tickets now at cinemark.com.
Are you troubled by strange noises in the middle of the night?
Do you experience feelings of dread in your basement or attic?
Have you or any of your family ever seen a spook, specter, or ghost?